Get Into Gate. This is episode 91. We're talking Stargate SG-1, the full Get Into Gate team here. My name is Mitch. We got Matty here, Brendan,
hello,
and Rhys.
Yeah, g'day guys.
If you're new to the team that is Get Into Gate, we are three long-term Stargate SG-1 fans, one new viewer, that being Rhys. We're talking about one episode each and every week as we go through the season that is number 5. We're up to right now, episode number 2. We're talking Threshold today, boys. Let's get straight into it. This one's directed by our boy Peter DeLuise, written by Brad Wright.
PD.
And it goes like this. Teal'c may have been rescued from the evil Apophis, but his mind remains loyal to his old master. Braytek suggests an ancient Defar ritual called, oh god, I have to say this, Mal'Sharan.
Nailed it.
Sweet.
Yeah, I'll accept that.
A process which could bring Teal'c back to his senses or end his life. Now,
Probably not.
probably the former.
Yeah, I was going to say, if it's the last episode of a season, maybe you'd think, okay, his contract didn't get renewed.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll go.
If it was Game of Thrones, you're like, ugh.
Yeah.
See you, buddy.
Yeah, see you, mate.
2 episodes in a new season. Pretty sure he's sticking around.
Yeah. He's on the
going,
cover.
I mean, he feels a, I've forgotten the word now.
Demographic.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Oh, Jesus.
He's a diversity hire, so,
Yeah.
he feels a tax bracket there.
Absolutely.
Thinking like a real producer there, Matty. So I was saying last week, Rhys, that at the end of episode 1 of season 5 felt like a bit like the pilot. Teal'c's bad, working for Apophis, gets brought back to Earth. Subtle differences there, of course, but this one sort of the same again as episode 2, where Teal'c was trying to prove himself to not be a bad guy. In this, they were trying to bring him back from being a bad guy. So when it started for me, I was like, oh god, are we really going to go through this? But I actually liked the way that they made that story work by going back to his the prequel of Teal'c, basically.
I remember that's what I said last week. It was like,
Yeah,
it
that was
depends
sick.
how they do it. And I think this was awesome the way they did it, because it wasn't just trying to get Teal'c out of this little hissy fit brainwash that he's having, but it was a whole backstory of, because I've always wondered how did Braytek get him to go against the gods? Like, what did he do? What did he say? And this sort of it just opened it up and gave us all the answers. I really
They made
loved
him
it.
look really young.
Yeah.
They did that really well.
I remember thinking that at the time. I'm like, the makeup chick on this episode is great.
Or person.
Well,
Probably a chick.
Yeah.
It is a chick. I know that for a fact.
Jan Newman.
Kisses, yeah. Now, I have a clip here, and while I was watching this, I thought of it reminded me of a movie, but I couldn't quite put my finger on it. So I want to play you this track and let me know if you can tell which movie I think it might be
music
from.
Stargate.
No, almost.
99% sure Apophis is dead.
He has deceived you, O'Neill. As I have deceived you all these years, claiming to be in the service of the Tari.
Right.
I have never left the service of my Lord Apophis, and I never will.
So all that time you were helping us out, saving the world, killing ghouls.
Subterfuge.
Savvy.
You can take my life, but you can never take away my loyalty to my God.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Oh, subtly coming in.
Kiss my emblem.
Are you afraid to face me? No Jafar can survive the right of Mal'Sharan.
Love this.
Choose to be the warrior we know. Renounce Apophis and return to us. Choose.
Oh, got dark.
Yeah.
I choose freedom.
Yes. Yes.
Sorry, I don't get the reference. What movie is that?
Oh my.
No, I don't know either. That's why I'm trying to figure it out.
Oh,
You
this is
son
my
of a
favorite
bitch.
movie of all time.
You lulled me into a false sense of security last week when I said, have you made something? And you went, no. So I gave you a pass this week, but you bloody made something.
Oh, that was epic. I'm probably going to replay that throughout the week.
Just when you got your VR headset on, just
Oh,
whacking
mate.
it.
Like, Braveheart's my favourite film of all time.
I knew Rhys would love it.
And Braveheart and Teal'c, like, that'll do me. That'll do me.
Well, the funny thing was, I made that, and I had an alternate ending, and I'm going, I swear, I'm gonna YouTube Teal'c saying freedom, and I'm like, it's that fucking episode. What was wrong with me? Clearly, he was drunk.
Well, a bit of homework between this podcast and next week. Just go watch Braveheart.
Yeah,
Do yourself a favour.
Over and over again. It was the first VCR I ever bought. I watched it every day for a month.
Did you really?
Yeah.
That's
I
excellent.
loved it.
I tried watching it. It was on TV maybe 6 months ago, and I
you
tried
don't
to watch
it on TV, mate.
Oh, I couldn't make it through.
It's a 3-hour movie. You watch it
Oh,
on
like
TV.
I
it's 4
DVR'd
hours.
it. I DVR'd it and then watched it like the
Oh.
next day, so you can skip past all the ad. But I ended up skipping through half the movie. Couldn't cop it.
No, you probably meant to watch it in 1994.
I did.
When it came out.
I did. It was fine, but that was back when Mel Gibson was exciting, and it was cool to
He still
see
is,
a
mate.
movie and be related to him. So
Yeah.
no, apparently my families were related to him, like because my dad's American, so it's apparently like my great grandfather and Mel Gibson's grandfather or great grandfather were brothers or something. Apparently, so there's this really tedious link to him, which was cool.
He's our uncle.
Yeah, cool when I was a kid, but these days it's like when people ask, like I went and got an X-ray the other day, and someone was like, "Oh, you related?" And I was like, "No."
We're third cousins once removed. There you go.
You guys are
No, you and him.
Yeah.
right.
You and Mel, third cousins once removed.
Awesome.
Good chat. Movie chats.
This is 1996. I'd be so excited.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So Teal'c being, brainwashed or whatnot, Rhys, do you? I mean, we know as an audience and fans of Teal'c that he's just been something's happened to him, whether it's the sarcophagus or he's used his hand device or whatever Apophis on him, that he's lying, like he's under some kind of control. Do you think that SG1 or anyone at the SGC even for a second believed that maybe Teal'c had been duping them like Teal'c was claiming for the last 5 years, or that they were all just calling bullshit?
Yeah, nah, definitely not. No, like you couldn't. After, as Jack said, Children of the Gods, when he literally turned and shot his Jafar mates and then helped them escape and then racked off with them, like you wouldn't.
Left without his family.
Yeah, there was
retconned, but he
no
did.
point to doing that. Even if it was a plan.
Gotcha, f***ers!
Yeah.
Idiots!
Because even if
Idiots!
Apophis couldn't have thought that up because they didn't even know about the Tari. So
What if this guy asks you for help?
See, that's a Swiss-made wristwatch he's got on. I got a scam.
But
Let's do it.
but yeah, no, definitely not. But the way they went about it when they got Braytac in, because when Teal'c first said, "No, I'm back, guys," it all worked, and then Braytac, and then he's like, "Nah, he's fooling you."
Like,
I'm
1
shit.
second.
And
it
the
took
best
it.
thing is that's Braytac's first appearance in season 3.
Yeah, since Maternal
Yeah.
Instinct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the first time we've seen him. And then the last time he was mentioned was back in Serpent's Venom when old
said he was dead.
Rockstar guy said he was
Yeah,
dead.
that's right.
And then he just did this mad thing with his eyes where he's just like, he's deceiving you. And you're like, oh shit!
Looking into his
Braytac,
heart
you
or
look
whatever.
Yeah, he's used his fucking spidey senses.
Straight away though, Peter DeLuise giving us what we've come to expect from him.
Well, everything looks normal. Let's take him out in the hallway and see what Braytac has to say about it.
There's the eyebrow arch,
Yeah.
foreshadowing that something may be amiss.
This actual shot was inspired by the reveal of Hannibal Lecter in Silence of the Lambs. I tried to copy that when you find him in the cell and he's staring right at you. That was what that particular shot was.
That's cool.
That was
And
sick.
so you heard that this is the first time season 5 they actually start getting the actors in to do audio commentaries.
Yeah.
So
right.
Chris Judge does the audio commentary with Peter DeLuise in this one, and
Nice.
then Amanda Tapping is in next week's audio commentary as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
I thought he did he direct this, Peter DeLuise?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so because I got a picture here when they're looking at Hammond and O'Neill.
So I thought you were gonna say, I thought so because I got a picture of his dick.
Well, you got a picture of his D, don't you?
yeah, he's PD. When Hammond and
DP.
O'Neill are in the observation deck, and the camera pans up to them. There's the candles that are all in the infirmary. Infirmary?
Yep.
They're shaped out in the reflection of the glass as PD.
Yep.
I'm
Yeah.
like, there's only one man that could have done that.
That was his cameo. He couldn't get himself in there somewhere, so that was his cameo for the episode.
Now this was an amusing thing to do, because if you can see in the bottom right at the bottom of your screen there, my initials PD in candles there.
PD.
Now, unless I point it out, a lot of people don't notice it. But
who wouldn't notice that? That's what I was saying the other day. Who wouldn't notice that there's a big PD in the candles right there?
Well, I never did.
A lot of people don't notice.
Well, who do you think they think is going to P. Diddy?
Look, all I know is it took all our effort to get you to be unconscious in the reflection of the shot. That's all I remember.
Because I was raising the I kept, for 15 minutes I sat there and said, who's not going to see this is PD in the candles?
You didn't see that. You saw it after the fact.
P. Diddy.
15 minutes.
I'm just looking at the photo myself too. Like, they didn't even try to hide that. That is like it's perfectly like leveled and straight angles and shit. So we'll chuck that up on our Gate socials. You can go and have a look.
Props to Rhys though, because you saw that straight up.
Yeah,
first up. Yeah, there was dialogue, so I was looking for something else to do.
Oh, jeez.
I was searching aroround the screen for something entertaining.
There's a topless Chris Judge there. That's all I'm looking at.
True.
We need to do... Yeah, I was looking at the reflection. That's, I always do. You're going to love Star Trek then. There's
A lot of dialogue,
a lot of dialogue in that.
I think we've established
just a lot of just shots of faces just talking about philosophy and
On
living a
screen.
better life.
and people eating soup.
On screen, and then on screen it's just a face talking as well.
Yeah. This is Tony Amendola, who plays Braytek. This is actually his favourite episode that he does of Star Trek ever. Stargate.
Oh!
Damn you with your subliminal messaging.
Oh, look, a couple of things that Braytek said in this episode. His symbiote matures in about 2 years, he reckons.
Oh, shit.
It's going to be his last
We better
one.
get a cure. I don't know. He's dead.
He's going to be dead in a couple of years.
Yeah.
Or is he? Yeah, he
It's
is.
funny you
He
say.
is.
It's funny you say cure. Yeah, that's interesting.
Why?
Cure for death.
Just the season 6 episode, the cure.
And they play the Cure too because they go back to the 80s.
Oh, you better believe we will for the podcast.
Yeah.
I can guarantee you we'll be playing some
Fuck
cure.
yeah.
My favourite Braytek line, and it's actually from that same scene. I kind of had to rewind and play it again, and I kind of had like
I think I know which one
a pan flute moment.
Yeah.
Was the life for the sake of life means nothing.
Yeah.
I was kind of like, whoa.
That was...
That's if you really stop and think that through, that's actually pretty deep.
Yeah, because that's what I love, and it sort of just shows the type of how he said, oh, that goes for Teal'c as well.
Yeah,
And he's like, then they need a purpose for life. Like
That's
it's not about surviving. You know, it's not about one false step.
Nah.
Planet, you know, but they need that purpose.
Yeah.
It really hit home. I'm
Just
like,
not
that
to
is awesome.
aimlessly just float through life.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, for humans, everything else is like, yeah,
I don't know.
I ate, I'm cool.
For what do you mean for humans?
For humans, you want a purpose.
Yeah, that's
But
right.
every other life on Earth is like, yeah, I'm cool. I just had a meal.
Yeah, but there's a lot
What's
of
up?
humans in this world who don't have a purpose. They're just
Yeah.
like, yeah, let's go to work and come home and drink a case of piss at the
Well,
end of the
and
week.
you know,
Jacket.
people. No, that's a
day.
purpose. That is a purpose.
Absolutely.
But no, like you think about it, there's a lot of people on the conveyor belt that just think they've got to get married, buy a house, have kids, just
Yeah.
jump on and do that kind
Vanilla.
of stuff.
There's
And
a lot of vanilla out there.
yeah, like my mum keeps. I'm the youngest of three. My mum keeps. She's like, "When am I getting more grandkids? When am I getting more grandkids?" I said, "Don't fucking look at me. Look at my sisters. See if you want more grandkids, get them."
Yeah.
You're made
Because
for that shit.
I'm not creating life for the sake of creating life.
Yeah.
Like you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
like not just because I can. You know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. It's a selfish thing to do.
I love this episode, like all the flashbacks. I think it's really interesting, and I love seeing like Teal'c meet Apophis for the first time. But my main issues is one, the fact that Apophis died last week.
99% sure he's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. Peter Williams isn't dead.
He went out like a bitch last week with the replicators. And so we're still kind of in that, oh, is he dead? Is he not dead? You come back from like, and then he's just here in a flashback. And I think again, it's robbing the gravitas of, is Apophis really dead? Is that
No,
the last
he's
time
not.
we saw Apophis? Well,
He had his shield up.
it's got to be one strong shield. That's a
Liquefied.
shield that can't stop a fucking knife when you throw it at him, mate. So
Yeah, but explosions.
yeah, okay, fair enough.
No, you're
It can stop bloody replicators.
Well, I'm I'm going to put you out
Not
of
for
misery.
long.
He's dead.
He's dead, mate.
He's dead. That's
He's
it.
not.
Apophis is dead.
He's
I mean,
not
he's
dead.
not.
I
but
don't
he
believe you.
He's not, but he is.
Yeah, you're going to be disappointed then. And my other issue is...
I'll be waiting 5 seasons for him to come back.
Right?
Still cool. Bring on universe.
Right, last episode of season 10. Surely he comes
Surely
back.
he's going to come back. Just IMDb, A-pop. And see how you go. And the other issue I have is Apophis now must have multiple ways to brainwash people because Ryak was cured with a Zat blast. Well, at the start of the episode, Teal'c gets hit with a Zat and he's still brainwashed.
Killed. Did you say? I thought
No,
you said
cured.
Oh,
Cured.
I wish he was killed, but Ryak is cured from his brainwashing with a
But
Zat
why?
blast.
What do you think that is? Is it because
He's a kid.
he's got a massive dick? Teal'c?
Yeah,
Is that
yeah.
why?
Sure.
It's too. All the electricity went to his dick.
Yeah. All the
You know?
blood ran to his dick out of his brain and it couldn't
Is that
electrocute
why?
him. Sure.
Is that why? Didn't we?
Yeah, definitely. He's got a large
I mean, they've
symbiote.
like he and Ryak both have immature symbiotes in their pouches. Why would a Zat blast not cure Teal'c as well, except for plot?
Yeah.
So I like the flashbacks. I don't like how we get them.
Yeah.
That's my issue.
I
with
did.
this
I did
episode.
like that as like I think Teal'c goes Hashak or something like that. And
Yeah.
and then they're like,
which is something that
SG1
Braytex has used in the
Yeah.
past as well.
And SG1 goes, "What was that?" And he goes, "That was a conjured memory, the first of many." #flashback. Like, oh, okay.
Although
That's where we're going with this.
This was my favourite of all the Goa'uld words, though.
Valar. Is that what he said?
I thought he said velour.
Velour? The fabric?
That's what I heard him say.
Why would he say that?
I don't know. Why would he say velar?
I don't know.
Valar was my friend.
What?
Teal'c.
So that's brilliant. That's like peak
Valar.
SG1 humour.
You guys have talked about Vala. Is that different?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Valar's his mate.
Yeah, that's
Vala's
Valar.
a girl.
Right.
A woman.
Of all the alien names they could have
She
come
was
up
once
with.
a girl.
Yeah.
But going back to Valar, with that flashback, Teal'c got fucked up by Apophis and put in that bed. They're all laying in bed. They've all got chainmail PJs.
That can't be
Do they?
comfortable.
Yeah. Like that. Why are you lying in bed in chainmail?
Yeah.
Safety first.
Given that
What if he falls off the top bunk?
They don't use fucking swords. You're so stupid about chainmail.
given it that
That's very. It's a conductive material. Hit him with the zap.
Fucking burnt everywhere. Like 3rd-degree burns.
well, given that later
Fucking
on
idiots.
in the flashback with Dreyarch, he's wearing that boss like vest, like half armor,
Yeah.
half fabric. That's like that's cool.
That was sick.
But maybe that was just status because by then he was first prime and Apophis gave him that house
Yeah.
and all that kind of stuff. So maybe when they're grunts, they don't really have other clothes or something. They've got
Might
to
be knack with a
ready all the
chainmail.
time. Ooh,
That's even
sick.
worse. They just
Yeah.
explode everywhere.
No, but how? Yeah, right.
Boom.
I was going to say how big does it need? how
They're
as
all
big
wearing
does the explosion-
suicide vests. But no.
Totally. Totally.
He thinks he's getting mithril like Frodo. Oh, so this is lightweight and stronger than everything?
Yeah.
Yeah,
totes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Just don't let any electrical current hit you. Why not? No reason.
It's doing a good shot.
If you do, though, don't stand near me.
Don't stand in the rain next to a light.
I want to know.
Don't cook your toast near a puddle.
The rain? Oh, so that's why last week Walt was unplugging toasters.
Yeah.
Yeah, good
Oh,
call.
safety first.
Unplugged toaster.
Yeah. Hey, did anyone notice the SGC got a bit of an upgrade? They got all the flat screen, like LCD monitors now.
Oh, really?
They don't have the olds, There's still a couple floating around, but in like
What year are we in?
2001.
Yeah, baby. Millennial.
Boom.
Yeah.
Threw a couple of solar panels up on the top of Cheyenne Mountain to offset the cost of
Yeah.
keeping the lights on, so
smart.
to buy some new monitors.
Something I repeated to myself a couple of times, let's say a few times throughout the episode. F***ing Frasier.
Ugh.
What
I don't even know what you're talking about, but I agree.
Like, she's like, oh, you can't do this. Braytek's like, no, like, I know you don't understand it, but this is what we do. She's like, no, I'm a doctor. You can't do that.
Well-
and then O'Neill's like, well, Hammond says so.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Well,
well, I'll
I'm gonna-
take it up with him. And I'm like, oh, we could just not do it and let Teal'c murder you. Would you f***ing rather that, you bitch?
No.
Like, f***ing hell, he's going to
See-
kill everyone.
The fact that she said, I'll go take this up with Hammond, was my issue because it was established a few weeks ago. It was like, well,
she overranks him.
She outranks him in medical procedures, so she wouldn't have had to have gone and see him. It probably would have just been a courtesy for her to go and say, "Oh, not happening."
Which is fair enough.
But the other thing to because I'm a bit on Janet's side with it, is Janet does the right thing and she questions Braytac about it, and she says, "Well, how many times have you done this?" And he says, "Oh, half a dozen, whatever." And she says, "And how many of these have survived?" And he says, "None."
Yeah.
So he wants to do this procedure with Teal'c, even though he's had a 0 success rate.
Yeah, but it's their native their native culture. It's what they're doing. So he's not a military member.
So that's the equivalent though of being a doctor in a hospital and a Mormon going, "Oh, sorry, I don't want a blood transfusion because it's going to save my life.
Yes.
It's against my religion."
Yeah.
She
should shut up.
Most doctors would just be like, well, that's the thing though, is Janet's also their friend. So she's seeing her friend dying in a bed.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, she's not so concerned about his psychological well-being. She's worried about his physical well-being.
She's being selfish.
So
she's trying to preserve life.
She's being selfish. She says to Carter, "Yeah, but you know how hard it is for me being a doctor? Like, this isn't about you,
because
bitch."
she took the Hippocratic oath to do no harm, and she is breaking that oath by doing harm to
You know
Teal'c.
what? Sometimes in the fucking military, you have to do shit you don't want to do.
And she did it. Braytac did appeal to her on a personal level.
Yeah,
and
that's what I was going to say.
Yeah, I get it, but take your orders and shut up like the rest of the fucking soldiers do.
But
I just hate her, okay?
But she's the doctor. Like we said, she outranks everybody in medical procedures.
Yeah.
So she doesn't have to take anybody's orders.
Personally, I liked that scene, and I liked it when she goes, "Well, I'm going to take it up with Hammond," and then Braytac says, "Do you consider yourself one of Teal'c's friends?"
Yes, and that was the right way to do it.
And that's where it should have ended, but she kept banging on about it later on. That annoyed me. That second bit.
But Braytac did the right thing because everyone was telling her what to do. She's the chief medical officer on this base.
Yeah.
They're telling her what to do as a doctor. And she's saying, "F you, I'm the smartest person in the room when it comes to medical procedures."
That's the problem.
But that's her job. That's her job. But
it's Hammond's job as well, right? But he says, "Yeah, but you look at what's going to happen if we don't do it."
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's not Janet's problem. Janet is a doctor. She took an oath to do no harm.
Well, it's not Hammond's problem either, but
because
Hammond's got a heart.
Teal'c's. Well, no, that's what I'm saying. Is Braytac? They're telling Janet what to do as her job, and she's saying, "No, I'm smarter than you all. I know what's going on." So Braytac did the right.
Next minute, she'll turn around and go, "I know nothing about goa'uld physiology."
Can I finish what I was going to say? What I've been trying to say 3 times now is Braytac does the right thing. Braytac does the right thing by appealing to her emotionally as a friend of Teal'c and saying, and that was the right route to take. But up until that point, everyone was telling her what to do as a doctor, and she's like, "I'm smarter than all you cunts. I'm trying to save his life, and you're just taking his symbiote out trying to kill him. Give me a reason to get on your side." And Braytac does that by saying, "Okay, this is what we need to do. You're his friend. Allow us to do this. No other Jafar has survived this, but with your help and your medical expertise, when the time comes, you will be able to bring him back from the brink of death and save him. But we need to push him to that point." And that's when Janet was on board. But I do agree with what Brendan said, though, is there was that scene later on where she was kind of still on it. And I think it probably just should have been played or written a little bit differently, where she was struggling more with it, but was gonna push through. But I'm totally on Janet's
My note
side
here is Frasier, just resign and do us all a favour.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but I liked that the writer, as a writer, you're going to go, all right, what is her motivation? So that's going to be her motivation to do that, and Braytac needs to talk her out of it. So once that happens, then you can put it to bed. But they just kept bringing
What
it
is
up.
her motivation, though? To keep him alive?
Yeah.
Not to fix him, not to make sure he's not brainwashed anymore.
She's not a psychologist. She's a medical doctor.
Yeah, but and then what? Like that. That's what I. That's.
But that's the same thing as if someone on death row comes in with a stabbing, the doctor's still going to save their life, and then they'll execute him tomorrow.
That's right.
It's just that's their job.
That's their job. The Hippocratic Oath is to do no harm.
Different, but yeah.
But it's I'm giving you an example. That it doesn't matter what the circumstances are. That's
there was
job.
nothing. There was nothing physically wrong with Teal'c. There was only something psychologically wrong with Teal'c. So the idea was to take his symbiote out, which will nearly take him to the brink of death. Well, that goes against everything Janet's ever sort of believed.
She can go home.
Yeah, like go home.
Doesn't have to worry about it.
But in the end, she was right because
she wasn't, mate.
She's the one that saved his life, and Braytac.
But if
Braytac
Braytac
acknowledged
hadn't
that.
been there and made Teal'c go through whatever this thing was called, then
But his life was never in danger.
She would have gone, okay, unstrap him. He's alive now, and he would have got up and murdered everyone.
Well, they wouldn't have unstrapped him because they knew that he was fake.
What are they going to do? Strap him to a bed for the rest of his life while Janet keeps him alive?
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. His life was never in danger.
Janet, please, wank me.
Why are you letting them do this to me? I can't even touch my own symbiote. Unstrap one hand, please.
You talked about how young Teal'c's symbiote is. Yet last week in Enemies, I think one of the Apophysis Jafar said, it's going to take us how long? Like our symbiotes will mature by then. And Teal'c's like, yes, but Apophis will live on.
Yeah.
So how did we is it 7 years or something for... I can't
Yeah,
remember.
it was
I don't
something
know
like
if there's
that,
ever been a date, a time.
I think
7 rings a bell.
Families
for
or
some
something was in that, wasn't it? I don't know.
I don't know. But he's on his... I know they did try and buy him some extra time back in like Family or Bloodlines or whatever, where he gave up his first junior and gave it to Reich or whatever, and now he's on his second Primtar.
Yeah.
That was even younger. Because remember...
Tanner thing.
Yeah, it was like he was too young to have taken, to have been put into Jafar in the first place.
Yeah, it may not take.
So Teal'c's sweet. He's like, I'm not going to die. You guys are, but I got a few years under my belt.
I like how, it was like just when we're talking about the flashbacks for like how much ground was covered. I didn't feel like it was too much. Like, you sort of see the first time that he meets Braytac, the first time that he has Braytac appeal to his thoughts about rebelling against the Goa'uld and his questions he might have in their godlike personas. The first time that he meets Apophis, the first time that he acts against the Goa'uld, and the first time he has to cover that up, and then that he's they're in a battle against Ra's people and stuff like all this. There was just so many things that we're like, I wonder when this happened to Teal'c.
Yeah.
It was all packed into this episode, but I didn't feel like it was just a fan service episode for Teal'c. I liked that they touched on it, and I actually like that they had him questioning the Goa'uld, or at least had Braytac approaching him about that from day dot. It wasn't like Braytac waited 10 years and went, there's something about this guy. Like, Braytac has been part of the rebellion, for lack of a better word, for a long time. Yeah. And as soon as he saw Teal'c, he's like, this kid knows what's up. I just got a feeling about him.
It's almost like when Apophis punished him for his father, he was like, fuck this guy.
Yeah.
And then that's when Braytac swooped in and was like, hello, child. Come to my way.
But then how, like, for him to do that to his mate, where he saved his mate, and then he's like, all right, I'm going to take you, I'm going to free you. Even the friend was like, you cannot do this. That guy's a god. And he's like, well, we'll find out, won't we?
Yeah.
You just
That was
go.
sick. That was so boss.
Yeah. And let him go. And then we don't see that next scene. We see the scene following where he's crying to his wife saying, I went and attacked this village and I killed my friend because I couldn't take the risk that Apophis was going to find out. It's like, shit, like, that by now, Apophis isn't a god because he didn't automatically know what you did to your mate, but you're still covering your tracks anyway.
Plus, I feel like Apophis wouldn't know who the Valar is if you fell over him.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. That's exactly what I was thinking.
That's the worst part.
Just wear a hat,
7-4K8. You're like, you mean nothing to me. You're just another soldier getting shot for your stupid chainmail.
It totally makes no sense. Hey, you guys want to listen to a song?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Why not? I'd love to.
I know Mitch likes this. I think he does.
Yeah. Well, especially because I can see what's coming up.
There's not enough Nurofen in the world for this.
Whoa, bro.
Love me some songs. Sounds of the Gate. Threshold. It's self-explanatory.
We are Sex Bob, and we're here to make you think about death and get sad and stuff.
Yeah.
Is that Rick and Morty?
No, this is
Scott
Pilgrim.
Pilgrim.
I'm on board now. Okay, I'm on board for this one.
And I can tell you,
Tell me.
but I bet you Frasier did help Teal'c reach his threshold. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Pain threshold. No, absolutely. I get it.
Creme de la creme.
Gave
Tell you what,
gave life to his symbiote.
Ramona
de la
Flowers
creme
is doing
everywhere.
well though. How many of her extras are superheroes now? 3, 4?
At least 3,
Yeah.
maybe 4.
Who?
Yeah.
Yeah. The chicken. Have you seen Scott Pilgrim?
No idea what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
you should
Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
treat yourself. It's a bit
Nah.
of fun.
It's a movie.
Movie,
It's a
right?
great
Edgar
movie.
Wright, Michael Cera.
Michael Cera's in it.
Yeah.
He is Scott Pilgrim. He meets the girl of his dreams, and she says, "Well, to date me, you have to defeat my 7 exes."
It's based on a video game.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
right.
brilliant.
Well, it's made like a video game. Yeah.
Sounds
like
fun.
it's like the best live action video game that's not a video game, like movie.
Right.
It's Geek 5000. It's so
nice.
it's
He's got a
it's
laser
incredible.
sword or some shit.
Yeah.
Or it looks
Yeah.
He
like.
collects coins when he kills people. Like it's ridiculous. Live action, but he kills someone, they turn into
That's
coins.
awesome.
Yeah.
And then in true Michael Cera way, he goes over and goes, "Oh, a gold coin," and just picks up and pockets it. Like, oh,
That's pretty much all there was for this episode.
Well,
He chose freedom, and that was it.
the thing that I liked the most, one of the things I liked the most was, you know how Teal'c can just cut loose and just snap heaps of dudes. He's just trying his linebacker skills out of this. When old Braytak's like, he's deceiving you, and he's like, "Fuck this shit," and just acts as like 12 airmen.
When I was watching that, I'm like, Brennan's going to bring up the word linebacker when he talks about this.
Yeah, linebacker, baby. So I'm talking about.
Do you know what a linebacker is?
No,
Absolutely not.
couldn't tell you. I've heard a lot in pop culture.
Quarterback, that's it.
Yeah,
Tight
yeah.
end.
What?
So tight end.
What are you talking
It's a
about?
position. It's a position in the bedroom.
Oh, your tight end, yeah.
Tight end.
Let me in your tight
Reverse
end.
Ultron.
Reverse Ultron, you tight end.
And a new column in your spreadsheet.
I was quite surprised because, with Peter DeLuise, he's just known for his, poo cramps kind of jokes. And then he just suddenly just turns it. And this, I think, is one of the reasons I love him so much, is then he suddenly just gets all serious and drops these knowledge bombs about filmmaking.
Now, a recurring theme on the show, I just talk about the filmic technique that I was trying to use here. This episode, more than any other in my mind, was a study of human nature, a study of where the mindset is of each individual character. So what I tried to do is I went super long lens, and I stacked people in the foreground a lot, where I was a study of their face. Tony has such an incredible looking face. I mean, you just look and you go, man, look at the wisdom, look at all the stuff he's gone through. So a lot of times you'll see that only a face is filling the entire frame because it's a study of their humanity. And I won't bore you with any more of that stuff. But look at you, look how ripped you are.
Well,
Yeah.
He just has to go back to his normal DeLuise. He's like, look how ripped you are, man.
and it is such a TV thing to do that as well. You don't really get that in movies where it's just a lot like that. That's what TV is. It's just close-ups like that.
Talking
you know?
heads, yeah.
Yeah, whereas obviously film, you're supposed to fill the screen and you get landscapes and...
Yeah, and they always say you can't get really, really close because it's like, well, if you do that in a film, it's like, it's not a TV screen that's a metre wide at the most. You're talking about this like someone's face filling an entire wall, which is just kind of a bit too imposing when you're seeing a whole film.
Yeah,
But
Tony
yeah,
Amendola, I think, on a big screen, like you'd be able to like dive into that.
Oh, that'd be
face.
like that'd
he's
be like
very weathered.
That'd be like landing on the surface of the moon.
Yeah.
Jesus.
But no, this
Absolutely.
Oh, if that was a portrait on a wall, though,
Create a face.
you'd sit there and watch it for ages.
but yeah, it's stuff like that actually got me interested in actual like the filmmaking process. Like listening to Peter DeLuise and Martin Wood talk about stuff like that really sort of got me into the mechanics behind it all. And I was that's it. I found it really interesting.
Me and Brendan would walk you through it.
Yeah, mate.
Oh, that sounds
Oh, mate, haven't you seen Boxer Boys?
We both got some kind of degree in filmmaking.
Well,
Some kind of degree.
I did the study, never
Sorry,
got
I
a
was-
certificate.
Like a certificate, some degree of certificate is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
Sorry,
I believe
I'm-
that sentence has some degree of lying.
Whatever night that is, I'm busy.
I
Sorry.
didn't say a degree. I said some kind of degree
Right.
of
some percentage of a
Credit.
degree.
what I mean, more or less.
Sure.
More or less.
Oh, you
What do you
sound.
want to talk about aperture?
You guys sound more qualified than whoever directed Origins. So
No,
Well, we
yeah,
are.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm very. I'm
Obviously.
actually very confident of that.
Yeah, like, I've written 3 Walter Diaries and it's better written than Origins, and it's shit.
and not one Batman spin in the whole thing.
Well, there was yeah. It was mentioned.
God.
How ripped was Teal'c in this?
Oh, hey.
pretty ripped. Pretty ripped.
He did some push-ups
I got to
before
say,
action.
Chris Judge, man of my own heart, in the audio commentary, he's like, "Yeah, I had to cut down on the scotch for a bit to get that
Oh,
ripped." I'm like,
boy.
oh yeah, My boy.
My boy.
My man.
He's dehydrated. That was real snow, wasn't it? That they were, I could tell by the hardness of his nipples.
Cut glass with that shit.
Can you just remember that when we get him in to come in for that interview, just make sure we have some good scotch waiting.
Oh, I think you say have some ice so we can get his nipples hard.
That
we'll do both.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, want some ice for that? You're going to need to cut that with your nipples, mate.
Yeah.
Yep, straight across.
Easy.
Got some Johnny Walker Red here for you, buddy.
Really? We're only giving him red? We're not got any better than red?
No. Not wasting it on him.
You're not going to swing by duty free and get some blue label or some black label?
Oh, don't say black.
At duty
great
free,
people.
I saw a $1,000 bottle of scotch.
Yeah.
Duty free.
Yeah,
Jeez.
it was literally locked behind a case.
Join us on Patreon. We can afford
cork
that
and
bottle
shit.
and give it to Chris Judge.
Had a cork in it. It was hectic. That's when you know it's expensive. When the lid is a cork.
How do you get to it? How do you twist off a cork?
Yeah, you blow it off.
You blow it off. You just get a lighter and you light the bottle just under the cork.
Yeah.
And the cork will come out.
Sounds safe.
Did you notice that, was it Apophis or Braytak had a scarab beetle? I think it was Apophis had a scarab beetle on his armour.
I had a bunch of them,
In the flashbacks.
Yeah, when he first meets Teal'c.
Right.
Yeah.
And hand devices him. He's got, scarab beetles.
I was like, good choice. Cool. It looked cool.
Mm.
That's an old Egyptian thing, isn't it?
Yeah, they are, but I was just like, why has Apophis got it?
Yeah.
That was strange.
Why wouldn't he? Scarab beetles weren't specific to any particular god, or they were
but he is the serpent god, so why would he have beetles?
Because they were just like cats. Like cats were sacred. They're a sacred animal. So were scarabs. Scarabs were a sign of
Yeah,
power.
but wouldn't he be like, I'm the serpent, motherfucker? Them beetles.
I think that's what he would have done, yeah.
There's no beetle god.
Should be.
Beetlejuice.
Bro, I'm going to fucking DM Pete. My mate Pete.
Apop.
Tweet him.
On that, right? So cats in Egyptian mythology, the guardians of the underworld, right? Like, what is there?
Ibis.
Is there a cat representation in Stargate?
Oh, plenty pussy, mate.
Oh, there's not really.
Yeah, it's Daniel's job to bring into the cats.
There's
the
heaps of
demographic.
Very briefly this season we do see
Schrodinger, yeah.
Very briefly this season in the two-parter we do see Bastet, who is Bast, who is the cat god, the same one from Black Panther.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's
cool.
Scottish for bastard.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, that's episode 91 of Get Into Gate. Threshold, we will be back next week to talk Ascension. And isn't that an exciting word when we're talking Stargate? Means nothing to Rhys, but we'll see what happens next week for episode 3 of season 5. Until then, you can check out all of our old podcasts on whatever podcasting channel you subscribe to. Just search Get Into Gate, a Stargate podcast. Like, subscribe, share, all that sort of gear on our social pages, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Or if you'd like to support the show, join the show, be part of the show, suggest some gear for the show, patreon.com/
You can make your ascension up to patreon.com/
absolutely.
/ Get Into Gate. That's all I got.
That was hard work, actually, getting that one. That
was next week's one.
Yeah, I mean, you're a week early. I appreciate
Sorry, mate. I was over the threshold.
See, you've made it work for you.
Break through the threshold and come join us on Patreon.
Theatre sports, guys.
Creme de la
We should
creme.
give them a try one time.
I don't know. Too many rules.
We still don't know what they are.
I have no idea.
Otherwise, myself, Mitch_Lewis on Twitter and Instagram. Matty, where you at?
At High Pitch Matty.
And Brendan.
At the Bren Gibson.
Rhys.
I'm at the Flying Gibson.
Let's talk some Gate, and then next week we'll be back same time, same day, same channel, right here on Get Into Gate to talk Ascension for Get Into Gate. Stargate SG-1.
GetIntoGeek.com